So Alan Sugar has said that my next guest is destined for big things. Zack Fortag.
Zack Fortag.
Zack Fortag is the founder of the Ahead of Time Academy.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the series with me and Joe. This video is being brought to you by Hackney's Finest and Ahead of Time Academy. A topic I really want to talk about is, not just for business young people, but for just a general young person, is, social media platforms and how they can actually be used as a benefit rather than, a negative. A lot of people say social media is very negative and it could bring you down, but what sort of social medias do you use which are really positive to sort of help you grow your network and your career?
Yeah, for me, I used to use, there's the business ones, and then you got the normal social ones you use yourself on a daily basis without knowing this. You got the Instagram, you got Facebook, you got Snapchat. For me, they're the normal, general, basics social media platforms which you use to speak to your family members or speak to new people. But the ones I use myself for business-wise to network, I use Shaper, I use Bumble Business, not just for the dating, and then LinkedIn as well. So they're key. They're for me, some of them are the key ones. The ones I use the most personally for business-wise to network would be Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Shaper, and Bumble. Ideally, just to message people. With LinkedIn, you can use. I say for LinkedIn, I think that's how we met. Me and Zach,
Yeah.
we met through LinkedIn, and LinkedIn for me is very good for young people as well. I think all of them I've named is all good for young people, especially I think Facebook will be good for like group chats as well. But there's loads you could do. But Zach could add more to why these are the main ones.
I think firstly, let's talk about Shaper.
Yeah.
It's like Tinder for business. You basically connect with people who are sort of in your local area, and that's really good because it's not like checking those people's profiles. You just sort of swipe for who you want to connect with, and through that, I found loads of sort of really good people, and there's some really sort of industry leaders on that platform. So I would say, that's definitely one to give a go. You don't need to sort of focus on someone's social life on that platform. Even sometimes LinkedIn, people post their social life, but Shaper is just focused about business.
Yeah.
What would you sort of say about LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, I'd say it's the business for Instagram. I've always said that, and everyone I speak to, it's the thing I say the most is, ideally you're connecting with people. You're not just looking at some people's photos and pictures. You're talking about what you really want to talk about. You're cutting straight to the dessert to ideally find if you're into business or you're not, and you actually speak to people in all different industries. For example, there is a statistic I found a couple months back where over 500 million people monthly use LinkedIn, and I think roughly around half of the population of the UK use LinkedIn. So you have half of the UK population on your phone at your fingertips to network. So why would you not use LinkedIn? And there's loads of things you could do as well. So for example, all you got to do is just connect or send a note, so you can attach a message to it as well. So ideally it comes off a bit, you could be formal. I think informal would work more on like an Instagram type based platform, but if you're using LinkedIn, always sort of be quite formal at the start. But yeah, as well, like hashtags, they come in handy, and if you use the right hashtags in the certain industries you're trying to find, they come quite key as well.
Yeah, I would say LinkedIn, not an over exaggeration, is probably the best website in the world. Most of my business successes have been through LinkedIn. I've connected with hundreds of journalists from places like the BBC, got loads of coverage just through LinkedIn. In my clothing brand, I got things like companies like ASOS, stores in America, big clothing launches and fashion shows through LinkedIn. I would just say, whatever you're doing as a young person, use LinkedIn. You don't even have to be starting a business or looking for a job. Just build up your LinkedIn profile. You can connect with anybody. If you're looking for a job, someone actually was trying to get a job with our company, and instead of they applied for the job, but they also connected with me on LinkedIn, and they sent me a message on LinkedIn, and I think that sort of shows a real professionalism as a young person. And anybody you want to connect with, MPs, you can connect with MPs on LinkedIn. You can connect with big celebrities on LinkedIn. It's just such an amazing platform. If I was a young person, going through Instagram, why not get off Instagram and go on LinkedIn for a bit?
Yeah.
It's just such a great way to sort of build your platform.
Yes, I agree. 100%. To add on to that as well, it's with LinkedIn, it's a gold mine. Really, it's where I used to use Instagram a lot to network or follow these business people. And I found them all on LinkedIn, and I connected with them straight away, and it became connections for myself. So yes, 100% I agree. I think a lot of people use LinkedIn and other apps as well for finding jobs. CV. A lot of people now put their CV, they attach it to the LinkedIn to find jobs. I think LinkedIn alone is great for business, and it's great to finding a career for yourself, or say if you're just in the early stages of running a business in general. And like what I said with the other points in the other video is that ideally you want to be sort of half pregnant. You ideally don't want to go full in. You want to ideally have that backup until you feel you're ready to put 2 feet into the water. So if you use LinkedIn as such, you ideally could find that job, that part-time job with that CV you have, because ideally you could send that. I know a lot of mates myself, a lot of people I grew up with, and a lot of people I know that have got jobs through LinkedIn, and it's worked.
Yeah, and how would you say then to people how to use platforms like Instagram, Twitter in a positive way, not just a traditional way, how people sort of find, going through profiles, counting likes, and how they find that quite, mentally hard?
I'd say it's ideally to use it in a positive way is to ideally just engage in a good way. There's no such you could do really, just try not to be negative. So with Instagram and Twitter, so with Instagram itself, leave good comments, or good hashtags, find people in local areas that in such, leave a comment. That's the best thing you can do. Same with Twitter, again with the hashtags and the posts, they're the best way to be, because if you're positive, you're gonna get a good ROI on anything you're doing, especially on the platforms you use for Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, I think if you're a young person, especially looking for a business or to be sort of an influencer type thing, Instagram and Twitter are sort of really good because it helps you build your profile. Also, it's good, you can network on Instagram. You can find someone who you want to speak to, send them a message, send them an email through Instagram. And that can be really positive as well. You don't just have to go on social media and it be a big negative thing. It can be used for some really positive stuff. Back in the olden days, you would have to go on a big yellow book and find someone's number or call a main office. Now you've got direct connections, anyone in the world. Even the President of the United States, Trump, or we might not be president when we're watching this, he uses Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
And he tweets people, so you can even communicate with one of the most powerful men in the world. So it just shows sort of how powerful it is.
Yes, especially as well with one of my favourites, Elon Musk. He's a very avid user for Twitter, and a lot of people comment on these pages, especially as well with memes, but you do get their attention, and it's crazy for what you could do now with the yellow pages.
Yeah.
Well out of date compared to what we are in now, and I especially would agree. People can disagree, but I totally agree with myself, and Zack does agree with me on this point, is that with all these social media platforms, you ideally could connect, you probably will connect with some great leaders out there, and I'll just say take advantage of them.
Yeah, that's some really good points. I think that's sort of all the social media is covered, and that's our advice on what you should do with social media. Of course, it's good to use it for social reasons. It's really good to sort of post what you're doing and connect with your friends and followers and things like that. Thanks everyone for watching our video today. We'll be back next week with another video.